William and Kate, people are obviously incredibly curious about you. So let's start with the obvious. William, where did you propose? When, how, and Kate, what did you say?
It was about 3 weeks ago on a holiday in Kenya. We had a little private time away together with some friends, and I just decided that it was the right time, really. We've been talking about marriage for a while, so it wasn't a massively big surprise, but I took her up somewhere nice in Kenya and proposed.
It's very romantic. There's a true romantic in that.
There is.
And you said yes, obviously.
Of course, yes, yeah.
Thankfully.
And you knew you were going to do this from day one of the holiday, or you waited till the end?
I'd been planning it for a while, but as every guy out there will know, it takes a certain amount of motivation to get yourself going. So I was planning it, and then it just felt really right out in Africa, and it was beautiful at the time, and I had done a little bit of planning to obviously show my romantic side.
Okay, you'd been on holiday a while, so did you see this coming? Was he getting a bit nervous and jumpy?
No, not at all, no, because we were out there with friends and things, so I really didn't expect it at all. I thought he might have sort of maybe thought about it, but no. It was a total shock when it came, and very excited.
And you produced the ring?
Yeah.
There and then?
I did, yeah. I'd been carrying it around with me in my rucksack for about 3 weeks before that, and I literally would not let it go. Everywhere I went, I was keeping hold of it, because I knew this thing, if it disappeared, I'd be in a lot of trouble. And yeah, because I planned it, it went fine. As you know, you'll hear a lot of horror stories about proposing and things going horribly wrong. It went really, really well, and yeah, I was really pleased that she said yes.
And it's a family ring? It
is a family ring, yes. It's my mother's engagement ring. So I thought it was quite nice, because obviously she's not going to be around to share any of the fun and excitement of it all. This was my way of keeping her sort of close to it all.
And I guess we better have a look at it. What kind of ring is it? Are you an expert on what's...
I'm not an expert on it at all. I've been reliably informed it's a sapphire with some diamonds, but I'm sure everyone recognises it from previous times. So.
And Kate, you're going to be in envy of many, I would
Well,
imagine.
I just hope I look after it.
Yeah. She loses, she's in big trouble.
It's very, very special.
Now, it has to be said, you both look incredibly happy and relaxed.
We are. We're like sort of ducks. It's sort of very calm on the surface, but little feet going under the water. But no, it's been really exciting. We've been talking about it for a long time, so for us it's a real relief, and it's really nice to be able to tell everybody, because especially the last 2 or 3 weeks have been quite difficult not telling anyone, keeping it to ourselves for reasons we had to, and it's really nice to finally be able to share it with everyone. And
you obviously have kept it a secret, so when did you ask Kate's dad, and what did he say, and what did your respective parents say when you told them?
Well, I was torn between asking Kate's dad first, and then the realisation that he might actually say no dawned upon me. So I thought, if I ask Kate first, then he can't really say no. So I did that way round, and managed to speak to Mike sort of soon after it happened, really, and then it sort of happened from there.
Kate, what did your mum say?
Well, I think as any mother would be, she was absolutely over the moon. And actually we had quite an awkward situation, because I knew, and I knew that William had asked my father, but I didn't know if my mother knew. So I came back from Scotland, and my mother made it didn't make it clear to me whether she knew or not. So both of us were there, sort of looking at each other and feeling quite awkward about it. But it was amazing to tell her, and obviously she was very happy for us.
I mean, one of the things that's been clear actually for a long time is you very evidently have a close-knit family, and family is very important to you. Yeah,
no, it is very important to me, and I hope we'll be able to have a happy family ourselves, because it's been they've been great over the years, helping me with difficult times, and we see a lot of each other, and they're very, very dear to me.
People are bound to ask, it's a bit of an obvious question, but children, do you want lots of children? See what comes? What's your...
I think we'll take it one step at a time. We'll sort of get over the marriage thing first, and then maybe look at the kids. But obviously, we want a family, so we'll have to start thinking about that.
Going back to the start, because I think people, as I say, will be very curious about the totality of your relationship. When did you first set eyes on each other, and what did you think?
Well, it's a long time ago now, Tom. I'm trying to rack my brain about it all. But we met at university at St Andrews, and we were friends for over a year first, and it just sort of blossomed from then on. We just spent more time with each other, had a good giggle, had lots of fun, and realised we shared the same interests, and just had a really good time. she's got a really naughty sense of humour, which kind of helps me because I've got a very dirty sense of humour. So it was good fun. We had a really good laugh, and then things happened.
And Kate, what did you think of William? I mean, he's clearly not quite the same as meeting your average, you know, university student. Maybe it was, I don't know. But what was your first impression?
Well, I think when you said, I actually went bright red when I met you and sort of scuttled off, feeling very shy about meeting you. But and actually, William wasn't there for quite a bit of the time initially. He wasn't there for Freshers' Week, and so it did take a bit of time for us to get to know each other. But we did become, you know, very close friends from quite early on.
There's a story that goes the rounds that you had a picture of him on your wall as a child.
There wasn't just one, there was like 10, 20.
He wishes, no. No, I had the Levi's guy on my wall, not a picture of William, sorry. Sorry.
It was me and Levi's, honestly. Yeah.
So you ended up sort of in the same flat. Was that, if you don't mind me asking, before you were going out, or?
We moved in together as friends, and then because we were living together, we lived with a couple of others as well, and it sort of blossomed from there. Really, we just saw more of each other, you know, hung out a bit more and did stuff. So yeah.
You like my cooking?
Well, your cooking was all right. It's got better.
Does William ever cook, or indeed do anything useful around there?
Define useful, Tom.
Let's not go there.
Yeah.
No, he does actually. He did cook for me quite a bit at university, and it would always come with a bit of angst and a bit of anger if something had gone wrong, and I'd have to wander in and save something that was going.
So being honest, is that a skill that's declining over time or improving?
I would say I'm getting better at cooking. Kate would say I'm getting a lot worse.
I didn't give you enough chance to practice, though, maybe.
No, that is true. I get quite lazy about cooking because, you know, when I come back from work and stuff, it's the last thing I want to do really, is spend loads of time cooking. But when I was trying to impress Kate, I was trying to cook these amazing fancy dinners, and all that would happen was I'd burn something would overspill, something would catch on fire, and she'd be sitting in the background just trying to help and basically taking control of the whole situation. So I was quite glad she was there at the time.
Slightly awkward for the other flatmates, or okay?
No, to be honest, they were perfectly happy with it. They were used to it, watching me sort of catching things fire, and you know, they found it very amusing.
But I mean, having the two of you going out in the flat, or did they just not bat an eyelid?
I think at first they were sort of a bit surprised that it was what happened, and then they realised it was really nice and it was good fun, and we got on really well. They were good friends of ours as well, and so we had a good giggle with them as well.
Now, I suppose a lot of people are going to wonder, the first meeting with the families, again, not necessarily your average meeting. Kate, what was your first impression of the family?
Well, I was quite nervous about meeting William's father, but no, he's very, very welcoming and, you know, very friendly. So yeah, it couldn't have gone easier really for me. But
And meeting the grandmother, the Queen, not again like your average meeting with the grandmother. Was that, you know, nervous about that too? Or?
Well, I first met her at Peter and Autumn's wedding, and again it was in amongst a lot of other guests, and she was very friendly, and no, it was fine.
She's very welcoming. She knew it was a big day and everything was going on. Peter and Autumn were there and things, and she wanted to meet Kate for a while, so it was very nice of her to come over and say hello, and we had a little chat and got on really well. You're
clearly tremendously fond of each other's families, and I'm guessing that is obviously transparently, it's going to be a big part of your life going forward, both your lives. Yeah, definitely. Well, as you know, Kate's family, she's got a very, very close family, and I get on really well with them, and I'm very lucky that they've been so supportive. Mike and Carol have only been, you know, really sort of loving and caring and really fun, and have been really welcoming towards me, so I felt really part of the family, and I hope Kate's felt the same with my family. People are bound to ask, you leave university, you've been going out a bit, and you split up, famously, all over the papers. What was all that about? I mean, people are bound to want to know. Well, I think, to be honest, I wouldn't believe everything you read in the paper, but you know, in that particular instance, we did split up for a bit, but that was just, you know, we were both very young. It was at university, and we were sort of both finding ourselves as such and being, you know, different characters and stuff. It was very much trying to find our own way, and we were growing up, and so it was just sort of, you know, a bit of space and a bit of things like that, and it soon worked out for the better. And I think I at the time wasn't very happy about it, but actually it made me a stronger person. You find out things about yourself that maybe you hadn't realised, or
I think you can get quite consumed by a relationship when you're younger, and you know, I really valued that time for me as well, although I didn't think it at the time. Looking back on it,
As a chance to re-center yourself.
Yeah,
is that
definitely, yeah. It's not all bad.
Go with that one.
Did you kind of always have at the back of your minds that you wanted to marry each other? Did that come slowly? Did you suddenly decide a couple of weeks ago? I mean, people have assumed you're going to be married for a long time. How did you both come to it in your heads?
Well, from my point of view, when I first met Kate, I knew there was something very special about him, and that I knew that there was possibly something that I wanted to explore there. But we ended up being friends for a while, and that just sort of was a good sort of foundation, because I do genuinely believe now, especially that being friends with one another is a massive advantage, and it just went from there. And over the years, I knew things were getting better and better, and we went through a few stumbling blocks, as every relationship does. But we picked ourselves up and carried on, and we, from where you had, the odd problem when you were first getting to know each other, those have all gone, and it's just really easy with being with each other, and it's really fun, and I'm obviously extremely funny, and she loves that, so it's really good.
You say so yourself.
Okay, you're obviously upset when you split up, but all your friends, both of your friends, talk about, there's a very substantial love that's built up over a very long period of time, that's part friendship and obviously more than that.
Well, I think when you go out with someone for quite a long time, you do get to know each other very, very well. You go through the good times, you go through the bad times, both personally, but also within a relationship as well. And, I think if you can come out of that stronger and, learn, as I said, things about yourself, it's certainly, been a good how many years?
I lost count.
He did take his time, it must be said. Did you ever want him to, come on?
Well, no, we do. We've had our conversations, but I think it was.
We've talked about it today
yeah.
for a while, haven't we? We've talked about this happening for a day. So Kate wasn't in the dark over it all. We've been planning it for for at least a year, and if not longer. It was just finding the right time, and that was what, as most people say with couples, it's all about timing. And I had my my military career, and I really wanted to concentrate on my flying, and I couldn't have done this if I was still doing my training. So I've got that out of the way, and Kate's in a good place in terms of work and where she wants to be and stuff, and we just both decided now was a really good time.
You're obviously going to enter this family, the most famous royal family in the world. William's mother was this massive, iconic figure, the most famous figure of our age. Is that worrying? Is that intimidating? Do you think about that a lot, both of you? You particularly, Kate, obviously.
Well, obviously it'd be. I would love to have met her, and she's obviously she's an inspirational woman to look up to. Obviously to this day, and going forward and things. It is. It's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot, and very inspirational. So I do.
There's no pressure though, because like Kate said, it's about carving your own future. No one's going to try and no one's trying to fill my mother's shoes, and what she did is fantastic. It's about making your own future and your own destiny, and Kate will do a very good job of that.
This is a life, in the public domain to a degree that you can't escape. You both know that. You're obviously very, you know it better than Kate does. You're obviously very protective of her. Massively
so. Of course, her and her family. I really want to make sure that they have the best sort of guidance and chance to see what life's been like, or what life is like in the family, and that's kind of almost why I have been waiting this long, as I wanted to give her a chance to see and to back out if she needed to, before it all got too much, because I'm trying to learn from lessons done in the past, and I just wanted to give her the best chance to settle in and see what happens the other side.
And I'm also glad that I've had the time to sort of to grow and understand myself more as well. So hopefully,
does that mean I've done
hopefully do a good job? Yes.
Good.
So there's been a conscious, part of the reason it's taken you this long is that you've both spent a long time contemplating the future, being calm about it, pondering it, thinking about it. Is that right?
It is, yeah. Well, we've talked about it lots, haven't we? So it's always been something we've had a good chat about, and like we said, both of us, we've come to the decision, pretty much together. I just chose, you know, when to do it and how to do it. And obviously being a real romantic, I did it extremely well.
Kate, just coming to the close, people have placed some criticisms of you, you know, about your work and so on. Does that hurt? How do you respond to people who say those things?
Well, I think I know I've been working very hard for the family business. Sometimes those days are long days, and you know, I think if I know I'm working hard and I'm, you know, pulling my weight, both work and then playing hard at the same time, you know, I think, you know, everyone who I work with, I think, can see that I'm there pulling my weight, and that's really what matters to me.
And, you know, your family, as you've said, you're very close. Does it hurt, some of what's said, or do you let it run off all your collective backs on the grounds that that's just what you have to live with?
Well, again, I think the people around home are very supportive to us, and, you know, those are the people that really matter to us, our close friends and close family. And I think if sort of they feel that you're doing the right thing, you can only be sort of true to yourself, and you sort of have to ignore a lot of what's said, obviously take it on board, but you know, you have to be yourself, really, and that's how I've stuck by it, really.
It's a massive thing you're going into now, you know. I mean, obviously marriage is a big thing for everyone, but it's, you know, in such a public way. Excited? A little bit terrified?
Massively excited. Quite happy when the interview's over. But no, we're hugely excited, and it's, you know, we're looking forward to spending the rest of the times, you know, the rest of our lives together, and seeing what the future holds.
Okay, for you, you've had a long time to sort of contemplate this moment. Do you?
Let's not over-egg the long bit.
No, it's obviously nerve-wracking because I don't know what I'm sort of. I don't know the ropes really. William was obviously used to it, but no, I'm willing to learn quickly and work hard. And
She'll do really well.
Yeah,
we'll do very well.
A lot of opportunities, obviously, within the family. You know, this huge ability to change people's lives for the better. I guess that's something you must have contemplated as well.
Yes, well, I really hope I can make a difference. You know, even in the smallest way. Yeah, I'm looking forward to helping as much as I can.
Well, thank you very much for talking to us. You look, as I said at the start, very relaxed, very happy. Good luck.
Thank you.